Good day there, once again viewers, Kamikaze78 here, and today folks we're going to be having a chat about the fine art of sniping in Titanfall 2. More specifically sniping with the Kraber, the bolt-action sniper rifle available in the game. Now this begs the question, why talk about sniping with a particular weapon in a game that is dominated by fast parkour movement? Well, because using the Kraber in Titanfall 2 puts you in a position that requires you to embrace a playstyle that I would argue has both the highest skill floor and the highest skill ceiling in the entire game. Now this comes from Titanfall 2's blitzing movement and parkour system that really does force you to throw out all previous habits that you've gained from sniping and other shooters. No more is spending 10 seconds lining up a target acceptable. If you take that amount of time in Titanfall 2, you are a dead man. Sniping in Titanfall 2 is like being a surgeon that has to complete an operation in 5 minutes. It's all about being precise, but in a very short period of time. Throw in the fact that the Kraber in Titanfall 2 is one of the few pilot weapons in the game that is not hit scan and has ballistics in play with its projectiles, and you have a playstyle that requires split-second reaction times and deadly accurate precision, all the while considering the distance and the speed of your targets. Now today, I'm not actually going to teach you how to quote-unquote snipe in Titanfall 2 per se, because that is really a skill that you can only learn yourself. The art of being able to flick the scope to your target and land the round based on their movement really is something that comes from practice, lots of it I might add. But instead, today we're going to be talking about a couple of tips that can be applied beyond using the sniper rifle itself that can make you a much better sniper in Titanfall 2. That may sound a bit confusing now, but believe it or not, there is a lot more to being an aggressive sniper than being able to quickscope the fools that dare oppose you. Now, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to be splitting these tips up into categories because everyone loves a good little bit of organization in their lives. We will be discussing hesitation, which will be focused on when you actually take the shot but also seeps through into other tips here as well. Deterrence, which will be dealing with pilots that have gotten a little bit too close for comfort. And fight or flight, which is knowing when to fight or to flight and how to run away and what tools you will need to make the distance that you need to. We'll be addressing each category individually and then bringing them all together to make you a powerful, unpredictable sniper on the battlefield that isn't limited to sitting behind a wall on a rooftop. And in case that subtle hint wasn't enough for you, sitting behind a wall while sniping is something that I would definitely not recommend. So firstly, let's take a look at hesitation. To give you an idea as to what I mean when I say hesitation, let's draw up a scenario here per se. You have a spot for the time being and a clueless pilot wanders into your scope. He stops moving for a moment, clueless to the fact that you are lining him up. Finally, you have your crosshair on the target and your target walks away. The bullet skims past him. He dashes away just before you fire, or maybe you just didn't fire at all. You had the opportunity, but he still lives. You hesitated. In all honesty folks, the number one reason you're going to miss what you once thought was an easy shot is going to be down to the fact that you hesitated and overthought the situation. It happens to actually most new snipers that I see. They think that because they've only got one bullet, they have to nail this shot. The one thing I will always say is that whenever you think your shot will land, go with your gut. Never second guess yourself. Whenever you second guess yourself, you are almost guaranteed a miss. If you just take the shot, you are much more likely to hit your target. Worst case scenario, you miss. No biggie, then you just line up take two. Staying calm is a key part about sniping in any game, and while it may be harder to do in the more frantic environment that is Titanfall 2, it is still absolutely vital and is powerful once you learn how to stay calm in the absolute chaos that is Titanfall 2. With that said, there is also a big difference between hesitating and choosing not to take a shot, and learning how to define that difference is extremely valuable. Sometimes letting a target go is better than wasting a round on them and making your position more publicly known to the whole enemy team. Hell, by saving a shot you might find yourself a much easier target to hit a few seconds later and be a lot more prepared as a result. And now we move on to deterrence. As we all know, a sniper is most powerful when it ranges far from a firing line, but in Titanfall 2, where the movement is amped up into overdrive at times, it is only going to be a matter of time before pilots come knocking on your doorstep. And with that in mind, your greatest deterrence is going to be a trusty secondary weapon. The one secondary I will always vouch for in this game while you are sniping is the Hammond P2016, because it is quite possibly, actually no, scrap that, it is the most reliable pistol that you can take with you into battle. As a sniper, you need a pistol that you can whip out and rely on even in the direst of situations, and the simplicity of the P2016 allows that to be a reality. Weapons like the Wingman, both the B3 and the Elite versions, the RE45 and the Mozambique are just far too situational to give you as a sniper the tool you need for the threats that you could come across. Now while the P2016 is a nice choice on its own, there is one more tool for deterrence that I would recommend taking with you into battle, that being the arc grenades. The arc grenades are a go-to tool if someone happens to catch you off guard, as you can pop one of these bad boys on your sneaky devil of an enemy and bam, the tide of battle quickly turns in your favour. Not to mention that the damage of the arc grenades means that the P2016 is going to take significantly less shots to down a target, and when you're a sniper caught out in a close quarters combat, you are going to need all of the help that you can get. And finally, we move on to fight or flight. Fight or flight, as the name suggests, is all about deciding when to retaliate a situation or make a break for cover. And this point in particular relates very closely to the point about hesitation. Deciding whether you're going to fight or retreat is something that needs to be a split-second decision, as any hesitation could see you getting caught out in a rough patch between the two extremes. Now naturally, as a sniper, there are going to be times where you need to make haste out of an engagement, and the obvious ability to take would surely be Stim, yeah? As it gives you a good boost of speed and allows you to get a quick batch of health back to escape a scenario. Well, I'm going to raise you one, folks. To me, there is a much more useful ability for a sniper when it comes to making a getaway, simply because it allows you to completely disappear and make an escape without a trace. The Stim gives your enemy a trail to follow, which means that they might be able to reset the engagement in just a few moments down the track and still have you caught with your pants down. But with the phase shift, there is no trace, and allows you to even potentially reset the engagement in your own favour after you come out of the phase shift. One of my favourite things to do when I'm caught off guard is go into a phase shift, and when I re-emerge, pop an arc grenade and finish off the target with the P2016. This works so bloody well because not only are you reinitiating the engagement on your own terms, but not many people really expect a pilot with a sniper rifle to come out of a phase shift fighting back. And that right there is also a prime example of how powerful you can be with a sniper loadout when you combine all three elements here together. By not hesitating when caught out, knowing when to fight or flight, and by having a way to fight back and deter an enemy, you become something a lot more than just another sniper. You become a menace that determines the terms of any engagement, and can quite comfortably deal with any threats that come your way, no matter the situation. And with that said, guys, that's going to conclude today's guide to sniping in Titanfall 2. If you guys learned something out of today's video, whether it be in the form of the gameplay or the commentary, a backhanding of that like button is going to be greatly appreciated. And if you find yourself backhanding that like button and say you want to stick around for the long term and, you know, keep up to date with the content in which I'm releasing here on the channel, why don't you go around and backhand that subscribe button whilst you are at it. If you guys have got any feedback for today's video or want to see me cover something in particular in Titanfall 2 in the future, then that comment section is also waiting down below for you to place your comments. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Have a good one.